My fiancée said she'd never move to my boring small-town job. I told her I understood and moved alone. When she found out that boring job paid $600,000 a year, suddenly she wanted to reconcile. Hello Reddit I plus here. My name is Nathan Rivera. I'm 34 and I've worked in logistics management for over a decade. Last year my company offered me what I considered the opportunity of a lifetime. A promotion to run operations for an entire division in a smaller city called Ashwood. It wasn't flashy like Los Angeles or New York, but it was a safe town with affordable housing, good schools, and space to breathe. The offer came with a total package worth $580,000 per year. Base salary, bonuses, and benefits. For a kid who grew up with a single mother working double shifts at a diner, this was life-changing. But there was one problem: my fiancée, Camille. Camille was 31, beautiful, ambitious in her own way, but very tied to big city living. She thrived on weekend brunches, yoga classes with friends, rooftop parties, and constant social energy. The idea of leaving all that behind horrified her. When I first mentioned the promotion, she didn't even let me finish my sentence. "I'm not moving to some boring small town for your job," she declared, sipping her wine as if that ended the conversation. I tried to explain, "Camille, it's not just about the job title. It's security. It's freedom. We could buy a house, start a family without worrying about rent swallowing half our paychecks." She cut me off. "We already decided this, Nathan. My career, my friends, my life are here. Don't bring it up again." Every attempt to reason with her ended the same way. She wouldn't look at the photos I found of the town. She wouldn't listen to the financial breakdown. And worse, she told her friends about the offer, but left out the salary details. At a dinner party a week later, her best friend Marissa actually laughed. Camille living in a place like Ashwood? She'd die of boredom in a week. Another friend, Claire, shook her head in mock sympathy. "Nathan, it's kind of toxic, honestly. Expecting her to give up everything for your career. That's archaic." I was sitting right there. "So, expecting a man to throw away a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is fine?" I asked. Claire shrugged. "It's not life-changing if it ruins her life." That stung. But what stung more was Camille's response. She kissed my cheek and said softly, "Don't be silly, sweetheart. You wouldn't understand. This just isn't for us." That night, I made my decision. The next morning, I called my boss and accepted the job. 6 weeks to relocate. I started preparing quietly, opened a new account for the relocation bonus, began browsing homes in Ashwood, filed paperwork for the move. I didn't tell Camille. Not yet. She'd already made it clear that the conversation was closed. 3 weeks in, she noticed I was distracted. "What's wrong with you lately?" she asked over dinner. "Just work stuff," I replied. "Well, stop moping. It's annoying," she said, rolling her eyes. That was the moment I knew I was making the right choice. 2 weeks before the move, I finally told her. It was a Sunday morning. "Camille, we need to talk," she sighed. "If this is about that small town again." I accepted the job. "I'm moving to Ashwood in 2 weeks. She froze, then laughed like I was joking. "Very funny." "I'm serious. I already found a house. The movers come next Monday." The color drained from her face. You can't be serious." "Nathan, we're engaged. You're throwing away everything we built together." "No, Camille. You made it clear you wouldn't move for me. You refused to even discuss it." She stood, her voice shaking. "You're choosing a job over me." "No, I'm choosing respect. For myself, for my future. You chose your lifestyle over us. I'm just accepting that choice. If you leave, we're done." I looked her in the eye. I know. For a moment, I almost told her about the money. Almost told her how this promotion meant $580,000 per year. How we could have been set for life, but I didn't. Because I realized it wouldn't matter. It was never about the money for her. It was about control, about comfort. 2 weeks later, I moved to Ashwood alone. Bought a beautiful house on the edge of town, overlooking the hills. The first morning I woke up there, silence outside my window. I felt peace for the first time in years. And then, 3 months later, the messages began. "Camille, I miss you." Maybe I overreacted. "Camille, Ashwood doesn't sound so bad. I could come visit, see if I like it." "Camille, you know I still love you, right?" But by then, it was too late. I wasn't lonely, I wasn't broken, I was thriving. And for the first time in a long time, I realized I didn't need Camille, or anyone else who refused to respect my dreams, to validate my life. Life in Ashwood settled into a rhythm faster than I expected. My mornings were quiet, coffee on the porch, the sound of birds instead of honking horns. At work, I was finally doing what I had dreamed of for years. Leading a division, making big decisions, and having my opinion matter. My team respected me. My boss gave me freedom. And financially, I was in a position I'd never imagined growing up, but the texts from Camille didn't stop. At first, they were subtle. Hope you're doing well. Just thinking about you today. Then they grew more emotional. I made a mistake letting you go. We have 5 years together, Nathan. You don't just throw that away. I ignored most of them. I wasn't cruel. I just didn't reply. But then, one weekend in early spring, I got a call from my neighbor. Hey, Nathan, there's a woman outside your house, pretty insistent. Says she's your fiancée. My stomach tightened. I pulled into my driveway 20 minutes later, and there she was. Camille, standing by her car in designer heels, suitcase in the trunk, sunglasses perched dramatically on her head. Nathan, she said, rushing toward me with open arms like we were in a movie. I didn't move. Camille, I said flatly. She froze a foot away, forcing an awkward laugh. What? No hug? It's been months. What are you doing here? I asked. She tilted her head. I came to see you, obviously. To see us. To see the place you thought was worth throwing everything away for. I motioned toward the town behind me. And what do you think so far? Her nose wrinkled. It's quaint, smaller than I thought. But maybe it could grow on me. She reached for my arm. Maybe we could try again. I stepped back. She frowned. Nathan, don't be cold. I came all this way. I've had time to think. You were right about some things. Maybe I was selfish. You were, I said quietly. She blinked, clearly not expecting me to agree so bluntly. Well, yes, but relationships are about compromise. And look at you now. You've got this beautiful house, a big career. I could make it work here. For you, for me, I repeated. Not for us? Camille hesitated, then smiled as if she could charm me like before. Of course, for us. We had something good, Nathan. 5 years. You don't just throw that away over one disagreement. One disagreement? My voice sharpened. Camille, it wasn't one disagreement. It was you refusing to even talk about my opportunity. It was you dismissing me in front of your friends. It was you deciding for both of us that my future didn't matter. She bit her lip, her mask cracking. I didn't know how much money was involved, she admitted finally. I laughed bitterly. So if I made a normal salary, you'd still think it was ridiculous. But because it's 6 figures, suddenly you're open to Ashwood? Her silence said everything. I stepped toward her, lowering my voice. Camille, you didn't lose me because of Ashwood. You lost me because when I needed a partner, you acted like a dictator. When I tried to share my dreams, you treated me like a child. And now that you see I'm successful, you want to rewrite history. Tears welled in her eyes. She reached out, her voice trembling. Please, Nathan, don't do this. I can change. We can still build a life together. For a moment, I looked at her, the woman I had once pictured marrying, the person I had nearly uprooted my world for, and I realized something. I didn't feel anger anymore. I didn't feel love either, just clarity. You had your chance, I said gently but firmly. I gave you 5 years. I begged you to listen. You didn't. Now it's too late. Her hand dropped. You're really going to walk away from us? She whispered. I already did. I turned, unlocked my front door, and stepped inside. Through the window, I saw her standing there for several minutes, staring at the house, maybe waiting for me to come back out. I didn't. Eventually, she got into her car, slammed the door, and drove away. That night, I sat on my porch with a glass of bourbon, looking out at the hills. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't chasing approval. I wasn't trying to prove my worth to someone who couldn't see it. I was living my life. For me. And I realized, sometimes, the best love story is the one you have with yourself.